you can see why people just don't even want to come away from home, and they're scared and they're depressed.
Another big story we're following: an ICE arrest in the heart of Oregon's wine country, spreading fear and uncertainty among that community tonight.
It's not just the arrest upsetting people. There's also some confusion about the details of that arrest. K2's Joe English reports from Newberg.
Yeah, that's what we've been looking into today, trying to get to the bottom of that, why somebody would be arrested and charged with a crime. And then you go back and look at the records, and there's no record of that. At St. Michael's Episcopal Church, Ida Wilson tends to the community garden, but she feels the tension from recent ICE arrest. The church has services in English and in Spanish. Lately, though, she says one of those services has been nearly empty.
There has been hardly anyone coming to the second service. They're afraid to leave their homes because of what has happened in the last few days. And for something like that to happen in Little Newberg is really scary.
Last week at the church, ICE arrested the owner of a vineyard maintenance company, Moises Sotelo-Casas, for being in the country illegally. ICE and the Yamhill County District Attorney are at odds with what exactly Sotelo-Casas has been charged with. It's been reported that Sotelo-Casas is a member of this church and even has been a pastor, but Wilson and the deacon of the church aren't familiar with him.
Well, because I've only been going 10 years and I've had 2 different pastors here, neither one was him. So it would have had to have been before my time.
Katu talked with the family of Sotelo-Casas today, first with Sotelo-Casas' son, who tried to put us in touch with his daughter, who did not want to talk with us. Sotelo-Casas remains in the ICE detention facility in Tacoma, and Ida Wilson remains confused by the arrests.
All these vineyards around here, I mean, when it comes time for harvest, if these people aren't here, how are these vines going to be tended, and how is the harvest going to go? It would be really bad.
ICE claims that Sotelo-Casas has a record of driving under the influence. We checked with the Yamhill County DA, and we were told there's no record of that. Sotelo-Casas does have a few traffic violations, mainly speeding, also not telling ODOT that he may have changed his address or his name, but that's about it. In Newberg, Joe English, K2 News.
Joe, thank you. President Trump changing his position again on deportations, and earlier this week he said the plan was to focus mainly on Democrat-run cities, but the Department of Homeland Security on Monday told staff it was reversing that guidance and that raids on restaurants, farms, and hotels would continue. The message went out hours after Trump suggested he was sympathetic to concerns raised by farmers, and today the president commented on what's new.
Look everywhere, but I think the biggest problem is the inner cities. We're looking everywhere. Look what they let into this country, what Biden let in, that were allowed to. I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing, frankly.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement under DHS has been under pressure from the White House to ramp up their raids. Trump promised the largest deportation effort in history, and he's being pulled in 2 directions on that issue. Industries want him to loosen up, while others want more crackdowns.
After seeing President Trump deploy the California National Guard to L.A., Oregon lawmakers want to prevent that from happening here. Today, a House committee passed a new bill designed to strengthen state oversight of the Oregon National Guard and establish limits on when and how troops can be mobilized. Specifically under this bill, would not be able to deploy if it compromises the Guard's ability to respond to in-state emergencies like a wildfire or an earthquake. The top Republican in the House, Christine Drazan, voted no, saying she wanted to discuss it with the caucus first. Next, the bill heads to the full House for a vote.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has lifted the curfew for downtown L.A. It was imposed 7 days ago amid protests against raids in the city by federal immigration authorities. Bass says the curfew was largely successful in protecting restaurants, businesses, and more from, quote, bad actors who do not care about the immigrant community. She adds she is prepared to reissue a curfew if needed.